Hi, I'm Bart Hansen. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the instructions in the video description.
So this hand here is a 10-10 hand, 3,200 effective.
10-10 at Parks, right? The Tuesday game? Is that
Correct.
right? 3,200 effective. Okay. A lot of hands from Parks today.
Yeah, so at the time the game is playing five-handed. It just started fairly recently.
Yeah.
Okay, and the villain in the hand is, pretty sure he's a rec player. Not sure exactly like how competent, but definitely a rec player. But like I said, very early in the session, so not a lot of reads. So hero under the gun with black fours opens to 40.
Okay.
Okay, villain on the button, 3 bets to 120.
Okay.
Blinds fold and hero calls.
And you said this guy is like a rec player, right?
Yeah, based on, like, I haven't seen him before. Based on looks, he was like mid-30s, something like that. Looked like, kind of like a rec player.
But you've never seen him play, because you play this game like quite a bit, right? You've never seen him play in the game before.
Yeah, I haven't seen him before.
Okay.
I have not seen him before. I did notice from a couple of hands he played before, I took notice of something he had what looked like a value hand that he was betting like for a very, very large sizing, which looked like almost like a protection sizing, like close to pot.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of took a notice of that.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Okay.
So the flop, 260 in the pot. Flop comes out 9 of hearts, 6 of clubs, 4 of diamonds.
9 of hearts, 6 of clubs, 4 of diamonds. Okay, so you flop bottom set. So the pot's like
bottom set.
That seems like a nice, good spot
flop
to be in against a 3-better in a 5-handed game against this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So hero checks.
Okay.
And the villain bets 140.
Okay.
Okay. So here because of the stack sizes and all that, even though it's a super, super dry flop, but, because of the villain profile, I decided to check raise, but didn't want to make it too huge, so I check raised to 340.
Okay.
Okay. So, I was expecting him to call, and I figured I'm just going to go like bet, and, should be able to get stacks in. But he thinks about it for a bit.
So wait a minute. Before you tell me what's going to at 3,200 effective, I don't know, Gene. I think I'm either going to raise that much larger, or call because of the distribute. 340 seems a little bit. You say you're going to be able to get stacks in, but like if he calls, the pot's going to be like 800. You'll have 2,900 left if you bet 6 on the turn. I mean, it's going to be a little bit dicey. I probably would, if I was going to go for gold out of position. And you can sometimes call and sometimes raise, but I would probably make it more like 500 to 550 because I don't think he's folding an overpair.
Right. Well, let me just say, pot would have been like closer to 1,000, I think, like 340. So it would have been like 700 plus 260, closer to 1,000. But what I meant was
1,000.
if he does have an overpair, because he doesn't have to. Like, there's definitely a lot more 3-betting like lighter in this game than you would see, like, say, in 2-5 games. So he, on the button, I thought that he could be light, like, and by light I mean even less than ace king. So obviously I'm hoping he's got an overpair, but I don't know yet.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make it like a little less, not too crazy, right? But to my surprise and to my delight, he actually 3-bets me back to 1,040.
He 3-bets you back.
Right. He bets 3 bets to 1,040 on the flop.
Wow. Okay. So V1 3-bets to 1,040. Now, that shouldn't really be I mean, I guess you're supposed to have some 3-bets here. So, I mean, I guess it's going to be composed of like 6s and 9s maybe from him, I guess. But that's interesting. I mean, I'm talking about from this guy's perspective because, when I do top section, one of the things I've learned is that you're always supposed to have some partials of a certain line because people might be like, oh, you shouldn't be 3-betting any hand here. Well, that's definitely not true. And at this stack depth, it probably shouldn't be aces. If you were like 150 big blinds deep, he's probably technically allowed to just 3-bet aces and start shoveling money in here, especially 5-handed on 9-6-4. The interesting part for you here is that, like, well, the pot's so big, do you need to, if you're just this is like old school, like I mean, this is sort of straight out of like 2005. Back in 2005, when I used to commentate live with the bike, I'd just be like, get it in. Because, like, the guy's not, just get it in just to make sure nothing doesn't come off. He obviously has, like, queens, kings, or aces. He's never folding if you get it in. Now, you wonder if some guys actually have a bluffing frequency here and then somehow, like, can fold the hand like that. So I would probably just tend to call. The pot's going to be huge. The pot's going to be, like, 2,000. The pot's going to be, what, like 2,500, and you're going to have less than a pot size bet left, right, on the turn?
Well, the pot's going to be 2340.
Yeah. So you're going to have less than a pot size bet left on the turn.
About pots, yeah, we started 3,200 effective.
I mean, it's hard to fuck this up. At this SPR, it's kind of hard to fuck it up because it's so shallow now and such an extreme scenario that you could probably put in an extra raise or you could call,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what, as far as the optimal play, like, I don't think he's on that level. Like, I think that's out of the question. Like, as far as having bluff. So I don't think he's bluffing. Like, I'm really kind of putting him on an overpair for sure right now. I'm not sure what kind of overpair. Like, it could be, jacks or whatever. So I ended up just calling, right? But I was wondering about your take on this. I ended up just calling, even though I am putting him on an overpair because, like, it's 9-6-4 rainbow. Like, I thought about shoving, like, he's a rec player, he's not going to fold aces, but I mean, he's not a moron, right? Like, I mean, this is insane action, like 3,000 in on the flop. Like, what can I have? Right.
Well, that's why I said I would probably tend to call for that reason, right? Just in case he was going to make a hero fold or something.
Right, exactly. So that's why I ended up just calling, but, like, in retrospect, I was wondering, should I have shoved? But I did end up just calling.
Yeah.
And also, going back to what I mentioned earlier, I did see him bet, like, really, really huge for kind of protection. So I thought also to myself, well, I just saw this guy, like, bet close to pot. I'm just going to call, and basically I expect him to bet close to pot, which will, obviously commit him on a turn, right? So I'm just going to check raise all in, and he's, pot committed, right? That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. So I ended up just calling, and so the pot, like I said, 2340, and the turn comes out queen of hearts, puts out a backdoor flush draw.
Yeah.
And going with my plan, I check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he pretty quickly checks behind.
I mean, that's the risk that you have with just playing it as a call on the flop is if he somehow pot controls. But I mean, you could just jam the river though, even though it's a pot size bet. You know what I mean? Like that's sometimes people put in the extra bet for pot control to check behind. But okay, so it goes check. So it's the river.
Yeah. So the river is an interesting card, I thought. The river actually is a nine of spades, so it pairs the top card on the flop.
Yeah.
So it's 9-6-4, queen 9.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you? So obviously I'm going to bet. Obviously. So how much do we bet? What do you think we should bet on the river? What do you think? Well, or should we bet? I mean,
I think I would actually. The 9 might even help things. I think that I might just. So I think the 9, when you see, like, I think maybe your gut reaction is, oh well, I don't want to scare the guy away because, like, now he can't beat a 9. But how often are you check raising a 9, or does he think that you have a 9 when he 3-bets to 1,040? I feel like even to a recreational amateur player, like, even if they don't know the term polarized, I think that they can probably suss out and figure out that you don't really have many 9s. So if you did have a draw, all the draws have busted out. It's also less of a chance that you now have a full house because the 9 pairs. I would actually shove on this card more than some other cards. I would be comfortable just shoving here. That's how I think about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
And I can see some people saying, "Oh, you don't want to jam a 9, lose value versus your overpairs." How does Gene have a 9 here that goes 140 to 343 bets to 1,040 calls? I know it's 5-handed, but I feel like if I was the opponent and I had like aces and I played it this way, I would be less concerned about a 9. And if a savvy guy was going to turn like 6-4 into a bluff or some bullshit like that, you know?
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I did not do that because I don't know. Maybe it was a mistake in my thinking, but I actually thought that maybe he gave him too much credit, but I thought 9 was like kind of the worst card for him because I figured because
I mean, it could be. Listen. It could be if he's. Yeah. I mean, it could be if you think it's scary for him. I'm going through like another line of thinking here where I just don't know how often in reality you have a 9, but I mean that guy might not be on the level. So you bet obviously smaller than all in, right?
Yeah, I bet small. So I ended up betting 900. Okay. I bet like really small because here's the thing, like, you know, I know like how can I have a 9, but how, you know, why would you bet 3-bet the flop? That's like insane, right? That's really bad, like regardless of what he's got. So obviously he's putting me like if he's got like say aces or whatever, and he's bet 3-betting the flop, like why is he doing that? Because he thinks I have a 9 or like 10s or jacks or something like that, right? Otherwise it just doesn't make, it's not congruent, right? So based on that, now 9 either, you know, like if I'm betting now, I have a 9, or if I have pocket 10s, am I going to bet like all in with pocket 10s, right? That doesn't make sense. So that's what I was thinking. I ended up betting like 900 because I wanted to make sure that I get a call. And he called pretty quickly. He kind of made a face like, you know, he was disgusted, called pretty quickly, and I was good, obviously. But did
he ever show what he had?
He didn't show. No, he didn't show. I'm assuming he had like kings or aces. I mean, what else can you have?
Right,
I mean, maybe he had jacks, and you know, I'm assuming he had kings or aces. He called like pretty quickly. You know, he made a face.
I think it just goes to show you like how you are incentivized to put the last bet in from out of position, and this is actually a good example of this on the flop. Whether we want to, maybe I'm wrong that the 9 is a good card. I might be thinking too advanced in a spot like that. But it goes to show you, though, that like if the guy has aces or kings, how many things could actually happen that will shut your action down. Like you wouldn't think that you'd lose action against aces on 9-6-4 when you've got a set of 4s, right? But for whatever reason, the guy checked back the turn on a queen because he was trying to like basically shut you out of the pot, and then he got scared when you called. And now on the 9, you don't even get to jam because you're scared that he's going to fold. So you don't get the extra whatever, the 1400. So
yeah, no, I absolutely, you're 100% right. It's just that on the flop, like you don't really see that kind of crazy action like on such a dry flop for like 3,000. You know, I've seen people make some crazy folds. You know, I wasn't sure what level this guy is on. You know, so that like if it was at least a flush draw, you know, they'll convince themselves you got a flush draw or something. Here, it's like such a bone dry. There's not even a lot of straight draws really, like 7-8, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just think I just don't. I mean, there's a couple people in chat are saying that yes, you know, high stakes pros will check raise top pair in a short-handed game like a hand like Ace 9 or King 9, and I have definitely seen that. But if I transpose, and like I said, I might be going a couple different levels trying to get into the mind of a rec player, but if I transpose a recreational player's sort of thinking here where he 3-bets you. I don't think he thinks you have a 9 when you make it 340 and he makes it 1,040 because he would fold out a 9 there. Do you see what I'm saying? Him himself would fold out a 9. That's why I actually think the 9's a good card for you because he doesn't think you have a 9. And now there's less full houses. That's just one guy's opinion. Right. We'll never know. All right, Gene, thanks for the call.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out crushlivepoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.